A very good afternoon to everyone and welcome back. We are happy to know that you liked our previous episode on Wings of Tadoba. Your feedbacks encourages us to work even hard and showcase the unexplored wildlife of Tadoba. In previous episode, we saw a variety of bird species and their nesting behaviors. Well, in today's episode, we are going to explore some more bird species and how these species interact and coexist with other species and form an ecological community. So let's begin by exploring some frugivorous birds of Tadoba, whose diet mainly consists of fruits. The favorite tree of such kind of birds is the ficus species trees. This is the Ficus bengalensis tree, the banyan tree who is native to Indian subcontinents. This tree produces propagating roots which grow downwards as aerial roots. This sacred tree is not only ecologically important but also bears great cultural significance and medicinal values. The national tree of our country bears ecological linchpins. They produce vast crops of figs that sustains many species of birds, fruit bats, primates and other creatures, which in turn disperse the seeds of hundreds of other plant species. So, did you see how different species coexisted, shared a common forest habitat of ficus tree for the resources? When resources are made available, such diversity can be expected. So, I suggest to plant fruit bearing trees around your areas so that our future generation will be able to witness such beautiful biodiversity in birds. In the same cluster of figs, we have found another bird, that is the Indian grey hornbill. Though these birds are omnivorous, they like feeding on fruits. Can you see that peculiar casque which looks like a horn? And very interestingly, these are the only birds in which the first and second neck vertebrae are fused together, which provides a stable platform for carrying that heavy bill. Observe the way he eats that fig fruit. These birds actually cannot swallow food caught at the tip of the beak, as their tongues are too short to manipulate it. So they toss it back to the throat with a jerk of a head. These forest dwelling species of hornbills are considered to be important seed dispersers. These fruits eaten by frugivorous birds are considered to germinate even better when it passes specially through the digestive tract of such birds. So we have spotted a first bird. It's a yellow legged green pigeon, the state bird of Maharashtra. Look at that stocky yellow, olive green, and ashy grey pigeon. These birds are found throughout the Indian Union and also found in Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. They clamber about deftly among the fruit bearing twigs, often clinging upside down to reach out for a ripe one. Birds spend considerable time cleaning and arranging their feathers. This is called as preening. Preening is a bird's way of grooming its feathers to keep them in the best condition. While preening, birds remove dust, dirt, and parasite from their feathers. This is Indian golden oriole, which are chiefly found in Indian subcontinent and Central Asia. This bright golden yellow with black in wings and tail and a conspicuous black streak through the eyes makes this bird beautiful bright in the green woods. One very interesting thing about golden orioles, to study the distribution pattern of this bird, an individual was ringed in Bhavnagar, Gujarat in September 1961, and this bird was recovered after a long 10 years, that is in June 1971, in Central Asia, Tajikistan. The female of golden oriole is a little duller and greener. This pair has a strong dripping flight and harsh chee and clear fluty whistles. Their nesting season is generally from April to July. So, our next group of birds are the omnivorous birds, whose diet consists of both plant and animal matter. Asian koel is one such example of omnivorous birds. Birds have always been part of Indian culture over 3000 years ago. The Yajurveda referred to the parasitic habit of the Asian koel, the first such mention in global literature. This is the Asian koel male with crimson iris. This is a resident breeder in tropical southern Asia from India to South China. These birds are brood parasites, which means they rely on other bird species to raise their young ones. Could you recollect the scene from the movie of Three Idiots where Virus spoke of koel and its nest? Koels consume variety of insects, caterpillars, eggs and small vertebrates. Adults feed mainly on fruits. They will sometimes defend fruiting trees that they forage in and chase away other frugivores. They have been noted to be especially important in dispersal of the sandalwood trees in India. Another brood parasite like the Asian coil is the Indian cuckoo, which looks much like a pigeon but differs from its slender and long tail. The Indian cuckoo feeds on hairy caterpillars and other insects. They will also sometimes eat fruits. Indian cuckoos tend to feed in the upper canopy of forest where they air feed on flying termites. It prefers leafy trees for foraging. This beautiful bird, brightly plumaged with predominantly green color, is the leaf bird from the passerine family. Leaf birds usually feed in the canopy, eating insects and some fruits and nectars. Looks like the jungle crow doesn't want to share that egg with other friends.
The mottled wood owl is a species which is found in the plains, in the gardens, and lightly wooded habitats. They roost in the trees during the day, choosing a branch with dense foliage. These owl species is endemic to Indian subcontinent. The mottled wood owls majorly feed on rats, mice, and other rodents, as well as birds up to the size of a domestic pigeon. They also take lizards, crabs, beetles, and large insects. The breeding biology of the mottled wood owl is little known. Breeding season is generally February to April. Nests are in natural hollows. Normally, two or sometimes three creamy white eggs are laid. This bird here is calling the mother by meowing. Initially, we were surprised that there is some individual meowing, but then later found out that it was the fledgling of the same mottled owl bird. This fledgling is maybe around 1.5 month old and is ready to take off. It is still dependent on the mother for the feed. It is also observed that not just the mother but also the fathers help in nursing the young ones. They often take turns in guarding the nests and also incubating the eggs.
Here you can see two little birds, that is the great tit and the common iora. They are feeding on insects which are trapped in the web of social spiders. So let's move to the next set of birds, which are the Granivorous. Here we are seeing jungle bush quill, which mainly feeds on grass seeds, grains, some tender shoots, and sometimes also termites. The covey of bush quail consists of 5 to 20 birds. Their habitat fairly consists of open deciduous forests, dry stony grasses, and scrub jungles. Another bird from the pheasant family, which is endemic to India and shares nearly same habitat as that of the jungle bush quail, is the red spur fowl. They usually forage in small parties of 3 to 5. Red spur fowls feed on fallen seeds, berries, and insects.
We have found a bronze-backed tree snake which has caught a common tree frog and it's trying to feed on it. The snakes play a very important role in the ecosystem. They help in controlling the mice and other rodents around the houses. Snakes like these, especially the bronze-backed tree snakes, have excellent eyesight. These snakes are very slender and very fast. They are called tree snakes because they are usually seen on the trees. It is called as a bronze back because of the bronze or a brown color scales that is present on the back. These snakes are extremely fast on the ground as well as on the tree. In fact, they are just like the tigers. They stalk the prey on the perch. When they are on the trees or the shrubs, they sit at a place without any movement, observe the prey, and then chase it and catch the prey. No matter how slender the snake is, it is still trying to feed on an adult common tree frog. Usually, the frogs escape by bloating themselves, but this time it was the day of the snake. These bronze-backed tree snakes have special scales in between the bronzed color. As you can see here, they have turquoise blue color scales that is seen as soon as they expand near the neck region. Here you can take a closer look at the body of the snake. It has a brown patch on the back and a creamish underparts. You can also see the circular eye, which is comparatively larger than the shape of the head, and this helps in excellent sight. The snakes flick the tongue to know what is in the surrounding. When they do the tongue flick, the tongue comes out, senses what is in the surrounding, goes back into the mouth and touches the Jacobson's organ which is present in the roof of the mouth, which gives it a brief idea of what is present around the snake. The oriental garden lizard is one of the most common reptiles seen in your backyard. They majorly feed on insects and smaller vertebrates, including rodents and other lizards too. Although they have teeth, these are designed for gripping prey and not tearing it up. The ground color is generally a light brownish olive color, but the lizard can change it to bright red to black, and to a mixture of both. This change is sometimes confined to the head and other times diffused over the whole body and the tail. The breeding season of the oriental garden lizards falls in the months of May and June. The males also turn red-headed after a successful battle with the rivals. The males become highly territorial during the breeding season. Both the males and the females have a crest from the head to nearly the tail. Each tries to attract a female by inflating his throat and drawing attention to his handsomely colored head. Like other reptiles, these oriental garden lizards also shed their skin. We have spotted a monitor lizard which has climbed up the crocodile bark tree here. The monitor lizards are known to raid the nests of the secondary nesters like the parakeets in search of the eggs. These monitor lizards have an excellent grip which helps them in climbing the trees. The monitor lizards are diurnal lizards. They are often known for their predatory behavior. They taste the environment around them by constantly flicking their highly sensitive tongues while moving their head from side to side. This is useful in tracking prey and mates and in signaling between monitors of the same species. It has been documented in the wild that the monitor lizards spend large amounts of time examining the droppings of other Bengal monitors that have passed through their territory. Even though they are solitary creatures, scent messages in feces are said to be important in communication. The scent perceived by one monitor from another can inform of hostile intentions or to stay away from the particular territory.
So, well, friends, we have come to an end of this episode of Wings of Tadoba. In this episode, we showcased n number of Avifauna species of Tadoba, which indicates that Tadoba is in a good state of healthy ecosystem. Diversity of habitat leads to diversity in birds. Grassland ecosystem, wetland ecosystem and forest ecosystems of Tadoba have provided enough resources to these birds. Each bird holds special place and a unique role in this ecosystem. Birds are the voice of forest which makes the jungle alive. We will be back soon with a new episode. Till then, stay home and stay safe and enjoy our episodes.
Stay alert, stay safe. Jai Hind.
Stay alert, stay safe. जय हिंद.
Stay alert, stay safe. Jai Hind.
सतर्क रहा, घरी रहा. जय हिंद.
Stay alert, stay safe. Jai Hind.